It is your thoughts alone that cause you pain. Nothing external to your mind can hurt or injure you in any way. It is your thoughts alone that cause you pain. Nothing external to your mind can hurt or injure you in any way. Let this idea sink in. This is, of course, from A Course in Miracles, lesson 190. I choose the joy of God instead of pain. And if you want the joy of God today instead of pain, stick with me in this video and we're going to talk about how to get the joy of God, how to choose the joy of God instead of pain. My name is Elizabeth Cermak. I'm a psychotherapist and life coach here to talk about bringing the vertical into this world, getting into the spiritual dimension. It's funny because I was watching a video from Michael Meade yesterday. I think his name was Michael Meade. I just discovered him. He's an amazing man. And he was talking about how in this world we've gone too horizontal. We need the vertical. We need to connect with the vertical. And I was just very excited. I'll put a video of his below because I thought that was really cool that he was talking about this too. People are saying it in all different ways, right? And it's funny because the first time I really got this idea of connecting to the vertical, go vertical, I'm trying to think of other ways you can say it. Go vertical, connect with the I am, connect with the Tao, So the first time I said this to a client just kind of spontaneously once who was struggling with something. And I said, go vertical, get vertical. And she was like, I get it. She goes, you don't need to say anything else. You don't need to say anything else. Go vertical. And that's all I said. And she got it. There was nothing else that needed to be said. She flipped. There was a switch that got flipped as soon as I said, get vertical, get vertical. Of course, this is a client who was open to spirituality. But yes, we need to go deeper. Getting vertical is getting into the silence, going deeper. And Michael Meade, I believe that is his name. I would have to look it up to make sure. But he was talking about how, we don't, like even the social media and the internet, it's all very vertical, right? I mean, it's all very horizontal, right? It's like more stuff, more information, more stuff, right? We don't really need more information, more stuff, more. We don't need to be going this way. We need more vertical, deeper. We need to go deeper into eternity. We need to find eternity. And he was saying, when we find this, the world's so chaotic, right? We need all individually, and I'm saying this too, I say this too, that we need to find this within ourselves, this place. It's time to go within. Spiritual traditions have been saying this forever, right? We need to develop this place within us that can't be shaken, that can't be destroyed. Nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. We need to get to that place within us, right? And this world, the way this world is causing us to do this. So let's do it. So it's exciting. Okay, so let's learn how to choose the joy of God instead of pain. It definitely seems like this world causes us pain, right? I mean, me too. So this is nothing to get offended by. This is nothing to get mad about when you hear it. I mean, it can sometimes if you're in a certain mood. If I'm in a certain mood and read that, it can make me kind of irritated. But it's okay. Like it's, and I say this to my clients all the time, like leaning into that possibility. Let's open your mind to the possibility, become the gentle observer and see if this is true for you. See in what areas of your life you can notice that this is true. Become the gentle observer. Okay, so I choose the joy of God instead of pain. And I started with, this is paragraph 5, lesson 190 in A Course in Miracles. It says, it is your thoughts alone that cause you pain. Nothing external to your mind can hurt or injure you in any way. There is no cause beyond yourself that can reach down and bring oppression, right? The oppression in this world does exist in a relative form, but in a true ultimate form, it doesn't exist, right? No one but yourself affects you. What if you could go out into this world and be who you are and allow others to be who they are and not let it affect who you are? No one but yourself affects you. There is nothing in the world that has the power to make you ill or sad or weak or frail. I mean, we are getting at a spiritual level here, right? There is nothing in the world that has the power to make you ill or sad or weak or frail. But it is you who have the power to dominate all things you see by merely recognizing what you are. This is such a great line. It is you who have the power to dominate all things you see by merely recognizing what you are. I mean, to say that you can dominate all things you see, open your mind to this. You want this, right? I really feel like if we could just, those first 2 sentences of that paragraph, it is your thoughts alone that cause you pain. Nothing external to your mind can hurt or injure you in any way. Nothing external to your mind can hurt or injure you in any way. If we got that sentence, that one sentence, we don't need anything else. We wouldn't need anything else. Okay, so, but it is you who have the power to dominate all things you see by merely recognizing what you are. As you perceive the harmlessness in them, they will accept your holy will as theirs. And what was seen as fearful now becomes a source of innocence and holiness. What was seen as fearful now becomes a source of innocence and holiness. Have you ever done this where you feel like everybody in the world and everything in the world is against you, and then you change, like the flip gets switched, like when I told that client to go vertical, and the flip gets switched and you change, and all of a sudden it seems like everything is for you. You have a choice on how you perceive that. Okay. And what is seen as fearful now becomes a source of innocence and holiness. Or if you read an email like from a place of fear or like anger, and then you go back and you read it and it's like it makes you mad, and then you go back and read it, it's like, oh, this person wasn't saying what I was projecting. Projection's never truth, right? Extension's truth. We don't want to project. We want to extend. We want to extend love. My holy brother, think of this a while. The world you see does nothing. It has no effects at all. It merely represents your thoughts, and it will change entirely as you elect to change your mind and choose the joy of God as what you really want. Yourself is radiant in this holy joy, unchanged, unchanging, unchangeable forever and forever. And would you deny a little corner of your mind its inheritance and keep it as a hospital for pain, a sickly place where living things must come at last to die? The world may seem to cause you pain. It sure does, doesn't it? And yet the world as causeless has no power to cause. As an effect, it cannot make effects. As an illusion, it is what you wish. Your idle wishes represent its pains. This lesson is just perfect. Your idle wishes represent its pains. Your strange desires bring it evil dreams. Your thoughts of death envelop it in fear, while in your kind forgiveness does it live. I mean, the world may seem to cause you pain, and yet the world as causeless has no power to cause. As an effect, it cannot make effects. So the world is an effect, right? It's just an effect. It's not a cause. Pain is the thought of evil taking form and working havoc in your holy mind. Pain is the ransom you have gladly paid not to be free. In pain is God denied the son he loves. In pain does fear appear to triumph over love, and time replace eternity in heaven. We need to align with eternity. And the world becomes a cruel and bitter place, where sorrow rules and little joys give way before the onslaught of the savage pain that waits to end all joy and misery. Lay down your arms and come without defense into the quiet place where heaven's peace holds all things still at last. Lay down all thoughts of danger and of fear. Let no attack enter with you. Lay down the cruel sword of judgment that you hold against your throat, and put aside the withering assaults with which you seek to hide your holiness. Here will you understand there is no pain. Here does the joy of God belong to you. This is the day when it is given you to realize the lesson that contains all of salvation's power. It is this: pain is illusion, joy reality. Pain is illusion, joy reality. The spiritual answer is so simple. Pain is but sleep, joy is awakening. Pain is deception, joy alone is truth. And so again, we make the only choice that ever can be made. We choose between illusions and the truth, or pain and joy, or hell and heaven. Let our gratitude unto our teacher fill our hearts, as we are free to choose our joy instead of pain, our holiness in place of sin, the peace of God instead of conflict, and the light of heaven for the darkness of the world. I just love this lesson. So I just started at paragraph 5 and decided to read the whole thing, but choosing the joy of God instead of pain, and knowing that is your choice. It is a choice. And joy is one of the characteristics of the teachers of God, according to A Course in Miracles. So yes, you want to choose the joy of God instead of pain. And joy in this world, feeling joyful, is a form of resistance. It is a form of resistance. I do feel this air of like powerlessness or helplessness in the air. And the reason why I know that is because I was feeling it. And I read this last night in A Course in Miracles. There's another part that I read too that I just opened it up. And powerlessness is not of God. Helplessness is not of God. We are not powerless. We are not helpless. This is in chapter 21, Reason and Perception, section 7, the last unanswered question. Yet hate must have a target. There can be no faith in sin without an enemy. Who that believes in sin would dare believe he has no enemy? Could he admit that no one made him powerless? Reason would surely bid him seek no longer what is not there to find. Yet first he must be willing to perceive a world where it is not. It is not necessary that he understand how he can see it, nor should he try. For if he focuses on what he cannot understand, he will but emphasize his helplessness, and let sin tell him that the enemy must be himself. But let him only ask himself these questions, which he must decide: to have it done for him. Do I desire a world I rule instead of one that rules me? Do I desire a world that I rule instead of one that rules me? You rule your own world. Do I desire a world where I am powerful instead of helpless? Do I desire a world in which I have no enemies and cannot sin? What do you desire? And do I want to see what I denied because it is the truth? And do I want to see what I denied because it is the truth? That's the question that the next few paragraphs talk about, because that's the harder question to answer. So choosing the joy of God instead of pain is a powerful choice. Choosing the joy of God instead of pain is a powerful choice. I think this world kind of leads us to believe that that is not a powerful choice, and it is. It's inward power. This is what we want, right? Inward power. We want to go vertical. We want to find the place within us that is eternal, that is silent, that is steady, that is joyful. What is it? Eckhart Tolle, I think he was going to put it in A New Earth, that he said that in the middle of every universe is a black hole, and they wouldn't let him put it in there because it wasn't scientifically proven. And he said he just knew it. Instinctively, he knew it because he could feel it within himself. We are all microcosms of the universe. And of course, science recently came out with that discovery that at the middle of every, I think it's universe, is a black hole. And to me, that feels like endless space where all things are possible. We are in the world, but not of the world. We are not here to fix the world. We are here to love the world. Okay, so I hope this was helpful today. Go ahead and subscribe below if you want more videos like this that will remind you of who you are and connect with the vertical realm and get inner peace. Don't we all want that? And please send me your questions. Comment below if you have any questions that you want me to answer, or if you have any topics that you want me to cover. I would love to hear from you and connect more deeply with you. And maybe you can email me too, elizabeth@yourhighestlight.com. Let me know a little bit about yourself. I talked about my previous video about how, what are the characteristics of, I'm just curious about the characteristics of the people who are listening to these videos. Like, is it somebody who is looking for a spiritual connection, somebody who's looking for more inner peace, somebody who's a highly sensitive person, somebody who's an empath, somebody who's over 40, whatever, under 40, whatever. I'm just interested in knowing who you are so I can make more videos that are helpful. So far, I've been making videos that are things that I need to hear, that I feel like other people would benefit from it too. So I'm thinking it's probably people like me that are watching, but I would love to know more about you. Okay, so peace and love. I hope this was helpful, and I will talk to you next time.